So I want to share a personal story of mine from when I was a child that might help you understand your daughter or son. So when I was about 9, I stopped wanting to eat at school. Just randomly stopped wanting to eat at school. And my mum would make my lunch and I would take it to school and I didn't want to eat it. When I came home, I wanted to eat, but I didn't want to eat at school. My school teachers were really confused. In fact, the way they dealt with it was the head teacher would come and sit on my table and basically help me eat it, watch until I ate. I share this because this is really typical of how we as grown-ups respond to children's behaviour. So I was not wanting to eat. The eating wasn't the problem. That was a symptom of the problem. The problem was I was feeling feelings in my body of nervousness and anxiety that I did not know how to process. I didn't know how to talk about it. I didn't know any calming strategies of how to help my body, regulate and basically calm down. So I had all these feelings in my body and I didn't know what to do with them. And at that time, for some reason, I just decided when I was in school, I didn't want to eat. I think it was because I thought that I was going to be sick and that feeling was just coming from anxiety. So nobody around me understood or recognised that the real problem was the nervousness and the anxiety. Now, even if they had have known that that was the problem, nobody around me knew how to help me with those feelings. And so I just tried to find a coping strategy for myself, which turns out it was don't eat at school. For some reason, that seemed to, that was something that I thought would help me. So I share this because all day long, children are trying to say that they don't feel good. They're just trying to say that they've got a lot of trapped emotions in their body, basically. A lot of stuck emotions from past events that they're holding on to. And oftentimes those feelings have mounted up or they're trapped in the body, literally. They're stuck and they're feeling them constantly. And they're having things that happen in their life that keep replaying those feelings. They keep triggering them. Basically, things happen in their life that basically remind them of something that's happened in the past that felt unsafe to them or felt scary to them. And oftentimes children, until they've been taught how to talk about feelings or process feelings, and often until their parent has been also taught how to listen to the child about feelings, because most of us didn't get taught how to do that either, including me. I didn't used to know how to really listen to somebody and show them that I understood how they felt. Until that point, children often rely on other things to deal with their feelings. So I relied on the choice to just refuse to eat during school hours. That was my coping strategy, if you like. Another coping strategy was to say that I felt sick. Because I learned that meant I got sent to the secretary's office, which meant there was a chance I got to go home. This was a child who just did not want to be in school. So children all day long are trying to tell us how they're feeling, and they're telling us through lots of different behaviours and symptoms. So those, from my experience, can be things like one child I worked with had a constant cough. That was just a symptom of anxiety. Another child used to hate having a seatbelt on in the car on the way to school. He would gag. It was nothing to do with the seatbelt. Once we addressed the root cause of his anxiety, that behaviour went. He stopped gagging and he wore a seatbelt. I've worked with parents of children who had OCD tendencies, where one boy made his mum walk the exact same path to school. And within about 6 weeks after us getting to the root cause of how he was really feeling, he was skipping into school, no problem at all. There can be many other behaviours and symptoms, bedwetting, having big anger outbursts, hitting their brother or sister, refusing to go to school, lying to you, telling you that they hate you, throwing things, hitting themselves, not sleeping, not wanting to eat, not wanting to go to social events. I mean, the list goes on. But the important thing to recognise is these are all just behaviours and symptoms. These are kind of like the result of the main problem. And the main problem is that a child is feeling lots of feelings that they don't know how to talk about and they don't know how to regulate. They don't know how to basically calm their nervous system. And when they're having these feelings, they don't know ultimately like how to talk to their body, how to allow the body to just let the feeling pass on by. Because it turns out if we let the feeling pass through, we don't have a problem. The problems start for us when these feelings start mounting up in our body. Okay, so I just share this today to recognise that if your child is having different behaviours or symptoms, they're just the end result of feelings that have come before that. And often those feelings are feelings of worry, anxiety, sadness. There's a ton of different feelings that a child is having. So this is just a reminder for us all not to get so lost in the symptoms. Why won't my child sleep? Why won't they go to school? Because when we get lost in the symptoms, we start to try and encourage them, or we start to, encourage them as in like, you'll be fine when you get to school, or I don't know, give them something that will help them sleep through the night. But it turns out oftentimes it probably doesn't work. It's because you're in those moments, you're trying to deal with the symptom. You don't need to deal with the symptom. Deal with what's causing the symptom and behaviour. And trust me, the symptoms and behaviours will just disappear. I've spent 15 years working with parents and I've seen things that oftentimes you wouldn't believe happen. And these parents have been to doctors, therapists, nurses, psychologists, and they've not been able to make the change that they've made until they've actually learnt how to solve the root cause, which is the anxiety. So yeah, that's my 2 pence on that. Let's not get too lost in symptoms and behaviours, and let's recognise that they are just the end result of what's really going on. And what's really going on is a child feeling a ton of emotions that they don't know how to talk about yet, and they don't know how to process and calm. So if there's anything I've said here today that has resonated, that has taught you something, and you would like to start learning how to do this with your child, then I'm running a workshop in September called the Calm Child Workshop. The link is in my bio. Go and check it out. I've got an early bird offer running on that until Monday the 18th of August. After that date, the price will be going back to its original price. So at the moment, it's 50% off. So go and check that out at www.thecalmchild.live. All the information is in my bio, so you can go read it there. But I will be teaching you a couple of ways in that workshop to start to get to the root cause of how your child is feeling. Resolve the root cause. Basically, what I mean by that is help them start to calm their deeper worries and their deeper feelings of sadness or anger. And you will see all the other behaviours and symptoms over time just eradicate. And that's how these things work. So go and head to the link in the bio to read more about how you can take part in the workshop. And leave me a comment below if you've learned something from this video, or if you have any questions, drop me a comment below. Talk to you soon.